Okay, so today, Chapter 8, Lesson 3, we are going to be solving equations by using all of our quadratic methods. We're just going to step it up to a little bit harder of quadratic equations here. So some of the ones we've had in other chapters that were always just an x are now going to be x squared problems. Go ahead and pause here and take these notes. Okay. On number 1 here, we have x minus the square root of x minus 6 equals 0. So if we want to square to get rid of the square root has to be alone by itself. So what I'm going to do is add the square root to this side. So that is going to give me x minus 6 equals the square root of x. Now that we've isolated the square root of x, we can square both sides, which turns this side into a FOIL. So when I FOIL that out, I would have x squared minus 12x plus 36 equals x. Subtract the x would give me x squared minus 13x. And I'm going to do this one by quadratic formula, so I'm going to leave it as plus 36 equals 0. Well, it says any method, so first I'm going to check and see if I can factor. Are there any things I know that factor, multiply to be 36 and add up to 13? Yes, they are 9 and 4. Sign chart says both minus. So this first one would be positive 4, and the second one would be positive 9. And again, that's from last chapter. Okay, number 2, again, I'm going to start by isolating the square root here. So that's going to give me x plus 5, x minus 5. Couldn't see that negative back there. Equals the square root of x minus 1. Now that it's isolated, I can square both sides, which would give me x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals x minus 1. Setting it equal to 0, are there any factors of 26 that add up to 11? Not that I know of. So we are going to solve this one by quadratic formula. And again, you can choose any of the ways to solve this. This is just what I chose for this one. So the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a equals 11 plus or minus the square root of something over 2. 11 squared minus 4 times 1 times 26 is 17. And 17 does not break down. It's a prime number, and so that would be the answer for that one. On number 3, I have to concentrate on getting a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this first equation by x and the second equation by x minus 2. I'm also going to distribute this negative sign here so that I don't forget to subtract those terms after I've done FOILing. So this first one would give me 3x squared. FOILing the second one would give me negative x squared plus 2 minus 1 plus 1x and plus 2 equals 6. So I really have 2x squared plus 1x, and I'm going to do this one by completing the square. So I'm going to set it equal to 4 by subtracting the 2. Divide everything by 2 for completing the square. Take half of the middle term, square it, and add it to the right side. Is 33 over 16. Take the square root of that. The 33 stays and the 16 comes out. Subtract the 1/4 to the front and combine like terms. So the final answer is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 33 over 4. Number 4, I need to there we go. Okay, number 4 is an x to the fourth minus 3x squared minus 4. So with having the higher power, I need to make sure that I can solve this one by factoring the left side. So I'm going to add the 4. Then I'm going to factor out here. Or no, I'm not going to. There's perfect squares. I'm going to do this one by factoring. I changed my mind. So I'm actually going to factor this one instead. Oops. So I'm going to set this up as x squared and x squared. And what are factors of 4? That's subtract to be 3, 4, and 1. Sign chart says the bigger one is a minus. So now that I've done that, I can set up my two binomials equal to 0 to solve them. So this first one, I'm going to subtract the 1 and take the square root, which will be plus or minus, and the square root of negative 1 is I. And this one I'm going to add 4 and take the square root, which is plus or minus 2. On this last one, I am going to distribute here and combine like terms. So I'm going to FOIL the first part on number 5, which would be x squared minus 6x plus 9. Going to distribute in the middle, which would give me 3x plus 9, negative 3x plus 9, and minus 4. So that would give me x squared minus 9x plus 18 minus 4, which is 14. This one I'm also going to factor. So factors of 14 that add up to 9 are 7 and 2. Sign chart says both minus. So the first one would equal 2, and the second one would equal 7. And again, you could have solved any of these by any of the ways. I tried to do a variety of ways for you. But again, it's just all of the ways that we've learned for solving quadratics.